Hi and welcome to MANACOBRA channel. I'm Dasha and in this video we'll learn another popular modern technique, the falsetto technique. I'll prove to you that falsetto is absolutely cool for absolutely everybody. And also I'll tell you how it is made anatomically and of course how to train it. Spoiler, after this video you'll definitely want to use it in your song. What first comes to your mind when you think of falsetto? Write your thoughts in the comments. As for me, falsetto is something airy and gentle, and in fact it really is a sound mixed with a bit of air. So, why do we like so much the sound when we hear falsetto? Usually it's used as a song decoration, like a highlight to show a significant part of the song. It literally says to us, listen carefully, it's important. A Canadian professor at the Ohio State University, David Huron, whose principal research interests focus on cognitive and systematic musicology, says that when you hear high notes, your brain gets certain hormones which raise your excitement and make you more attentive. In other words, higher-pitched melodies and falsetto sound less frightening than lower-pitched melodies and draw your attention more. Of course, it's easier to sing falsetto for women and it sounds more natural for them because the female voices is naturally higher. Also, women rarely speak in a thick fold unlike men. That's why men's falsetto sound more unexpected. Like, I bet you don't usually hear a man speaking in a highest squeaky voice like this. Hey, how are you? How are you doing? Not like this. That would be a little bit weird, don't you think? Of course, it depends on the habits and the voice especially, but still. So we can draw the conclusion that we get the element of surprise because of the strong contrast of a normal tone of the voice and a falsetto sound. And this very contrast is hyper important in modern music. The brighter the contrast, the better we can feel it and emotionally react to it. Before we pass to the anatomical part of the video, I'd like to tell you the story of how falsetto was born. In the beginning, God created George P. Watson started using yodeling in his singing. In other words, he rapidly changed pitch on his voice by changing between the types of vocal folds contraction. A, ow, 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 ow. A, 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 a. That was far from being a real falsetto, but it marked the beginning of this sound. The starting of the disco era, we can clearly hear how falsetto became more and more popular, especially when the world heard Bee Gees, Earth, Wind & Fire and Donna Summer. Their songs were at the top of music charts for a long time, and guess what? Falsetto was one of the main vocal tricks in the style, especially in Man's song. And after that, there were Michael Jackson, Tom York, Queen, etc. Played a huge role too, and many other bands. They were the singers who put falsetto on a different level, while also their voice range was huge. Starting with 90s hip-hop kinda raised a bit wide range in singing, and the next mainstream genre in 1996 was inspired by singers of the 70s neo-soul. Bright representative of this style are D'Angelo and Maxwell. Nowadays, falsetto is one of the most important techniques in vocal and is used literally everywhere from pop music to rock music. Your teeth are 2015 was the year of high notes. More than 60% of that year's songs were based on falsetto sound. Now, you don't doubt the fact that falsetto is really cool, don't you? It's time to look at the autonomy side of the question. So first of all, let's say that falsetto and head voice are two different types of singing high notes in your upper registers. Falsetto is a light sound mixed with air, when your head voice sound provides more rich and stable tone. So the falsetto is and the head voice is Of course, you can add more air and less air. So please notice that falsetto isn't dangerous for your voice and isn't bad for your singing. On the contrary, it's a nice highlight for your vocal, as we learned it earlier. Usually it's a sound formed in the upper ranges of male and female voices. So yeah, of course, both men and women can sing in falsetto. Anatomically speaking, we push a little bit of air when we sing in thin folds, when there's almost no interference from the fold with the flow of air. In thick folds and in a more chesty voice, we can use air only when singing lower notes, when the vocal folds ain't too lengthened, to be sure that they won't be damaged. It can be dangerous to push the air when singing high notes in thick folds. You'll hear the air in a sound only when it touches the vocal folds. So, if there's too much air coming through, it'll reduce the folds' work efficiency and will lead to the voice fatigue. You should always keep the tone and the airflow in balance to maintain efficient work in your vocal folds and exclude negative effects of the air added to the sound. And as this technique actually requires quite a lot of air, you'll need to take a big breath to sing a long falsetto note. You give me I'll advise you to start your falsetto from a simple thin fold singing. You don't need anything else in this light sound, no twang, no extra pressure or anything else. Like this. Don't force the sound, or you may switch to thick folds, and I don't recommend you to add air in this case. For example, what is wrong? It's not so comfortable, right? Just be quieter and be lighter. It's a quite light sound. You can use that thin fold singing. It's like no air, no anything, and just add an air. Yeah, try to find the needed sound out of the more whiny sounds. But Mom! And then you just like breathe out of the sound. So we don't yell, we don't sing abruptly. And you can also try doing it with a sound or sound. If you want to add an air to your lower notes, you can do it using a thick fold. But hold the math of the vocal folds. Not like this. When you feel that you can easily sing in this sound, you don't tense or force anything, then feel free to max some air to it. Or two sounds, head voice and falsetto. Or maybe you want to use your thick folds. but please be gentle. Don't sing like this. Ooh, 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 ooh. If you want to switch the mass of the vocal folds, do it. For example, ooh. Yes, it will be a break, and there's another story for me to tell you later. Do you use falsetto in your songs? Or maybe you just started learning this technique? Share your stories in the comments. I hope you like this video. If you want to learn more about this technique, you can write it in the comments too. Stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, leave a like and ring that bell to be sure you don't miss a new video. See you later! MANACOBRA.